Hey Gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey and this is the all-new 2027 Kia Telluride. Kia is betting big on this redesign and there is a lot riding on the game changer for the brand. In this video, I'm going to take you on a quick tour, show you everything that has changed and why you may want to wait for this model. So the first thing I want to do is thank Kia for having me out to their design studio where we have gotten to see the full evolution of the design process of this new Telluride. As I mentioned in the intro, there is a lot riding on this vehicle because if you remember, the first generation really put Kia on the map as a desirable brand for well-affluent people. And this new 2027 Telluride aims to do that even more. They are really pushing the boundaries of what can be done. So first and foremost, we have the X Pro version here. This is the rugged off-road version. So we get the blacked out front clip. We get the burnt orange tow hooks up front here, the recovery points. And then we have these very wide set DRLs. Amber DRLs were a big thing that really made the Telluride popular back in 2019, 2020. Seeing one of these drive down the road really meant status if you had the amber DRLs. So we are seeing that across Kia's lineup, going to these amber running lights and really here emphasizing the width and the overall blockiness of this vehicle. We have a very wide flat hood, again, emphasizing just how wide and rugged this new Telluride is. As we move to the side profile of the new Telluride, you can see there's a lot of luxury vehicle influence here. I'm getting a lot of Bentley Bentayga, Rolls-Royce going on here, and you'll definitely see some Range Rover in the back as we move to the back. But you can see we have these flush mounted door handles that we get on EV9 that do retract into the vehicle to give a more seamless, clean design. Now, one thing I will say of Kia designers with this 27 Telluride is the simplicity in which they kept the design here on the side. It seems like some designers from brands like perhaps Toyota have gone a little overboard with character lines and doing all this work. And Kia really kept it simple here, really bringing your eye to designed and structured places. Like above the wheel arches here, we've got all the black cladding to help give a visual lift to the vehicle. And this being the rugged X Pro version, you definitely want more visual lift to it, making it look like it is taller, which this one is taller and sits at over 9 inches of ground clearance, which goes in line with this one's X Pro mission. As we come back to the rear quarter panel, this is where I see a lot of Rolls-Royce and Range Rover design as we round out to the back of the vehicle, but we do have the requisite floating roof that is a big design trend and theme in crossovers. As we move to the back of the Telluride, this is very Range Rover-esque back here, to the point we even have Telluride spelled out across the back of the vehicle. It really is a very imposing presence. We get an echo of the DRLs up front with our taillights here. They're very purposefully split up by this body color section in between. They are, of course, LEDs, so they give you a nice bright light signature, but are very distinctive whether the lights are on or off, really giving a premium feel and premium experience back here. And just like up front, we get these burnt orange recovery points back on the back with all the black lower accents, again, for that visual lift. Black accents adorn our X Pro model here, though not all trims will come with black accents. As we open the power lift gate with Kia's smart key lift technology, where you can just walk up to the back of the vehicle if you wanted to, and if the key is on your person, it'll beep and lift. You get more space in the back. We don't have final numbers just yet, but definitely more cargo space to actually be able to use behind the third row. So you can load this up with more people and more stuff. Here on this X Pro model, we do still have manually folding third row seats, which I actually prefer. Power folding third row seats seem to take too long to fold up and down. So I very much prefer the ease of lowering and raising these back up. And just as long as you don't let these straps get too far away, it does work very nicely. We do have some additional underfloor storage back here with this unique ruler system back here. We have some cup holders as well. This can be taken out and used for tailgating. But yeah, the tick marks here, much like on the Ford F-150 tailgate, I think are just a little bit too much to do anything other than measure your fish, so you're not telling any wild fish stories. And then, of course, this being a power hatch, you can simply close it by pushing that button right there. We already know that Genesis takes all of their color naming schemes and designs from different travel destinations, and we can see Kia is doing that as well, really leaning into some of the namesake with Telluride, this terrain brown that you may see up in the area, or this black jade green, very deep colors here. Unfortunately, we don't get to see all of these here at the design studio. We just get to see these samples here, and you can see what has been a carryover up there on top and the new and carryover colors down on the bottom. But here is that black jade green. If it is anything like what we saw on Palisade, in non-direct light, it really is going to come across black until you get some sunlight on it and really pops with that green color. As we move to the inside, again, we have the door handles, much like what we see on EV9, that do retract into the body side. And then, unfortunately for us, for you here on camera, we have the all black interior on this X Pro, but there's a lot going on here that I do want to bring attention to. First and foremost, the lighting. You do get some example of it here in the studio lighting. All the different places we have that ambient accenting here displayed in orange. We have multiple different textures and materials throughout. You can see we have heated and ventilated memory seats, heated steering wheel, the ergo motion seat, so you get a lot of comfort up front here. All your controls for your windows here, but you may be saying, where on earth is the door handle? Well, again, I'm bringing up the F-150 because they've moved the door handle into the door pull area, so it is nicely obscured, but will be familiar to anyone who has driven America's best-selling vehicle. We do have more storage down there. Again, ambient lighting. We do have multi-way positional seats, lumbar, adjustable bolsters, all the good stuff, including a fold-out leg rest there for a full lounge mode. As we take a look at these seats, you can see dual tone, dual texture material here. So we have this suede upper with this leather. I'm sure it's a synthetic leather lower. We do have the mesh headrest. All of it works very well. And as we pull around to the dash, no surprise here, we see the same style dash that we see in a lot of other new Kias. So we have two 12.3-inch screens here running the same software that we see on other models, but it is split by the Kia EV9 digital climate control section right here. We get all the same climate controls here from the EV9. I think this works a whole lot better than that dual function screen that we see in so many other Kia models. This section of dash can be either engineered carbon, forged carbon, or some engineered wood, depending on which trim you get. All of it looks very nice. Moving down further, you can see we get lots of USB-C power ports. We get two Qi wireless chargers surrounded in that synthetic carbon here. You can see we get a lot of quick access buttons, including auto hold, downhill descent control, quick access for your park cameras, and then your parking button right here. Now, the Telluride does offer handles currently, but these are in a much better place. It gives a very imposing feeling to this center console section. As with most Kia products, you have these retractable cup holders, allowing you to make the most of the space here. And then we do have this sliding cover here. Again, more of that carbon just to keep your stuff covered if that's what you like. And then you have a covered carpeted section back here, all of which works together very well, gives a very premium feel, especially with all this carbon. I'm so grateful this isn't gloss black. I don't think on any trim this turns out to be gloss black. We do have a damped, rather large felt lined glove box. So again, leaning into the premium nature here. We do have a rear view camera mirror which I like. And then we do have a standard size sunroof up front, but there are some more tricks back in the back. Coming to me, I haven't adjusted the seat. I barely have any time with this one, but I am quite comfortable right here in this seating position, which transitions to the back 2 rows very nicely. Talking about the interior, I do have to show you all of the different options because we do have some real and engineered materials throughout the interior of the new Telluride. We've got the wood, we've got the forged carbon, but the big story is the use of color. You know, parent company Hyundai and their luxury brand Genesis have never shied away from color, and that stays true here with Kia. Of course, in the modern era, you have to have the all black, which I get it, it's there, it appeals to the masses. But then here we have the black and butter brown. Here are the next two that really apply to me. The deep navy and Tuscan umber, really deep, rich tones here. You can see the navy seatbelt and all the different materials that go into that interior. And then the blackberry and sand beige. It is a very deep purple. I remember when Cadillac was offering a purple interior on the XT4, very much in the same color scheme, and I was so sad to see it go. I love the use of navy in vehicles. I love the use of purple as an accent color. You can see across the dash there, just really gives an extra pop. I am a little concerned about just how much sand beige is in that one, but I think too much purple would definitely overwhelm it. Then you can see here with the X-Line trims, we get slightly different interior treatment, more on the dark side. We've got the all black here. We've got black and deep khaki, which I'm still trying to find the khaki. It is really more of a slate gray accent on that one. And then the deep khaki and saddle brown options here. And you can see, of course, yes, we do get that embossed X-line there on the seat back. Coming up to the back doors, again, same door handles. They retract into the door, opening them up. You still get all the ambient lighting back here, just not quite as much. We do have built-in sunshades that do a wonderful job of covering 99% of that rear window. Really do like that. You can see we have heated and ventilated seats back here, which is nice. Window controls, same door handle situation going on right here. And then we do have captain's chairs here in this model. You can see they do slide forward and back, giving you a different sense of just how much space you can get in all 3 rows here. Climbing in behind myself, tons of space in this current seating position. You can see I do have access to the cup holders right here. We have a USB-C port right here and here. So lots of different amenities. We have suede uppers right here, but hard plastic down here, hard plastic map pockets and the like. And then we do have a pull-out center console with more storage. So more hidden storage throughout on this one. You do get a little ambient light there. I like the small touches, like the lighting on the seatbelt buckles that do help you find it at night. The rear HVAC controls are ceiling mounted, they're center mounted, and all the vents are also ceiling mounted. So no matter which side of the vehicle you ride on, that is still going to be accessible to you. And even if you have a child in a rear facing car seat, it does seem like you are going to get some air to that child versus having air coming from the back of the center console or the B-pillars like some other vehicles from the Korean brands. Taking a look at the seats, we still get the same dual tone. We get retractable armrests that are multi-weight positional back here, all of which is very nice. Coming to me, I've got good headroom, but less than up front because we do have a secondary sunroof up here. This is a fixed glass panel that just gives some additional light, which works very nicely given the fact we have an all black interior here on this one. Now we do have a couple of buttons to go with our recline. We've got this button right here that folds the seat up and out of the way. I very much appreciate how this seems to keep its shape so that you can keep a child seat in place and still get into the third row. You know that's a big thing for us. And then taking a look at the third row, same dual material usage on the seats. We have a different upper from the lower section here. You can see the headrests do fold down when the seat folds down, but we even have an adjustable center headrest. I know a lot of you have commented on my GM videos wanting to make sure that there is a center headrest in the third row seat. The seat belt, oh, it's very dark in here if you can see it, does come from the ceiling for that third seat belt so that you can fold the third seat down and have the unobstructed access to the rear cargo area. You can see there is a recline to the seats right there. So we've got a decent amount of recline to these seats. We have some additional power back here, which is welcome. And then a very good sized window, making it not so claustrophobic back here. We have the ceiling mounted air vents and the like. We have additional power over here, speaker, armrest, cup holders, and the like. We also have a way to tuck away that seatbelt so you're not tripping over it. I really do feel like this is a nice roomy cabin, but the real test is pulling the seat back into its furthest position. With this one all the way back, yes, my knees at 5'10" are touching, but there is always negotiation in three-row vehicles, and you can see where this seat is currently sitting. I've got plenty of room behind the second row of seats, so you can work with the two people in front of you to make sure that everyone in the vehicle is quite comfortable. Something we don't normally get to report on is the entire design process that goes into making a vehicle, and that involves clay models, much like this one here in front of us. We actually get to see the full-size clay model as well as the miniature clay model in which they start work. So this is how the design really begins, where they get to see it in the flesh for the first time, really starting to take shape. They make it in a miniature scale, and then that moves into the full-size clay model where they can really work through some of the details that may not look quite right when you get it in person. And it really does set this one off. You can see all the flat linear lines throughout on this one that do carry over when they decide to bring it into sheet metal. But it is just really cool to get to see not only the full size, but the miniature clay models here, as we're getting to experience the entire design process with the Kia Telluride. Now, unfortunately, there are some things I can't show you or talk about here in this one because, well, I am in a studio environment with one single vehicle, but you did see those color samples on the interior and the exterior that really set this apart. I think Kia is really going bold with this Telluride, and it is my hope, my plea, that the dealers take up Kia on all these unique interior color options. I love that blackberry interior, love the deep navy as well. Other features that I can't really show you is when the doors open, it does spell Telluride out with the puddle lamps. You know, those small premium features that kind of go unnoticed in quick videos such as this. We also haven't talked power yet. We haven't been told officially, but it would be my assumption we are going to see some of these same powertrains we're seeing in its corporate sibling from Hyundai. So think the new Palisade with its 3.5 liter V6 and its new hybrid system. Probably what is going to be powering and motivating this, but we're going to have to wait until it is fully unveiled at the LA Auto Show to get even more details. But quick synopsis is it's bigger, it's longer, the wheelbase is longer, giving more interior room, it sits up higher, and it is a more premium product, which means, yes, we're skipping a model year. So if you don't get a 25, you won't be getting a 26. You'll be waiting for this 27. If you liked this video and want to see more content from us, hit the subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you are notified every time new videos like this drop. You can find us on all social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. But as for me, with the new 2027 Kia Telluride from the Irvine, California Design Center, until next time, gearheads, bye. There are some things I have not been able to show you or talk about in this one, try that again. Now, unfortunately, there are some things I can't show you or talk about here in